Look alive. It's time to get to it. It's time to get to it. We back, baby. We back. We back. We back. Fresh. Hope you got your OJ. Hope you got some pancakes. A good croissant, if you will. Something to get. And now, if you like me, a little oatmeal. A little oatmeal don't hurt nobody. Get those fresh oats. But we're back for another Wellness Wednesday right here. Rizz Talk in the morning. Rizz Talk in the morning because it's about the charm, the attraction, and the light that you start off your day by talking to yourself first and making sure it sparks who you are and who you're becoming each and every way. Make sure you download the Rizz Radio app. Rizz Radio app. Shout out to Asia Cobbs, the founder of the movement behind the platform that's hosting these conversations. And we are welcomed, we are honored, no pun intended, to be graced today with the one, the only Miss Andrea Cole. Cole Flow with Honor Your Presence, the founder, the owner of Honor Your Presence PLLC. You're glowing, you're shining. How are you feeling today on this last day of April? Oh,
Aw, the last day in April. That's wild. Dang, when you say it like that.
last day of April.
I mean,
Last day of April.
the reality is the reality. I feel good. I feel strong. I've been doing some more group fitness and group movement activities recently.
Okay.
Feel
Okay.
really good on my body. So I feel good.
Okay. So you feeling charged up, huh?
You got put that battery in my back,
Yeah, if you know, you know. So, I'm glad we feeling charged up. We are here today to bring you some more conversation. We here for a good time, not a long time, baby. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. But I mean, it's essential that we start our days with these conversations. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful. Thank you for opening your space, opening your time. And again, if you see me looking down, it's because the way my camera is set up and the way my screen is set up, it's how it is. I'm not following the same. I'm not over here like, yeah, 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 yeah. That's not what's happening. But we're here today to have to get into some very healthy conversation, as we do with as we when we come together, Miss Cole Flo and myself, is about being able to break the mold of our identity, our structure of life, and how we're willing to be able to continue to better impact that, through it ease. That's what you say, right?
through ease. And ease means embracing all sacred experiences through ease.
Through ease, through ease. All right. So, I was planning for the show this week, and then Andrea texted me. She hit me, say, "You know what? I got it. Get out the ISO." If you know anything about sports, you know anything about basketball. There's sometimes the one that can. There's some playmakers that can come up the court and say, "You know what? Nah, 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 nah. Clear everything out. I want this ISO. I got it. I'm holding us down with this shot." And she said, I got a topic that I want to. You're looking a little lost over there,
ISO, ISO.
Andrea. We're not doing this right now.
You just say what it means. Maybe everybody doesn't know. Like isolating. Oh, you're saying like isolating, like everybody clear out so I can dominate.
I literally just said that.
Or
Rewind, rewind. I want you to go back and watch and listen how I just said all that. Literally, what you just said.
it reminds me of SOS, right? So, there's these acronyms mean things. It could be about the intention instead of the impact, or it's about
Boom.
the impact
You know
instead of
what I love? What I love about our combination in a dynamic, you could just throw an egg at me right now for how this last minute has just gone. Just throw an egg and tomato at me because I literally just said all of that. When the player clears out the way, when the player, I want you to go back and I want you to watch and just look how you just bombed, how you just bombed my whole setup for you. I'm setting up the scene. No, just stop. Stop. No, I want you to stop and just sit there and look like you might look just amazing as you are. As I set this up, I'm setting this up, and Andrew just wants to bomb the intro of how I'm setting this up. But that's the beauty of the dynamic. Shout out to the Facebook group. We're live on YouTube. Make sure you download the Rizz Radio app, and make sure you download. We're on Playback TV, and live on YouTube. We're on and before I get to how Andrea texted me this week and how she's going to ISO this topic. Whew. I also want to make sure everyone's catching us how you can catch us. If we want you to definitely download Rizz Radio App. It's an independent owned, black owned app, radio app. But then also too, if you want to see us visually, Andrea, you got the Facebook going on over there. But then also too, you got the YouTube popping this week. You finally with the YouTube game.
Honor Your Presence, PLLC on YouTube. We are
Hey, it's
there.
there. It is live and it is up and rolling. So you can actually go to that Honor Your Presence YouTube channel and you can watch this very live, rewatch it there, or you can rewatch it on Facebook, wherever you go ahead and do both. Like it on Facebook and like it on YouTube, which I will do the same. So today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm talking to a basketball player. That's the thing about this. I'm talking to
ISO. We
I'm
don't use
talking
ISO.
to a basketball player.
We
I
don't use
use
ISO.
I use
Somebody.
I
This is your
use basketball terms.
ISO.
And what does this person do? Just completely throw an egg right at what ISO, ISO or
Isolate.
SOS. Yo, I need to throw an SOS right now in a white flag. Someone save me.
Listen. I just want, inclusive language, right? ISO. What? Go ahead.
Nah,
We're good now. We're good.
we're good, and we're here. We're gonna help you be good because today's topic, Andrea, I'm gonna clear the lane. I want you to kind of explain more about how this topic really inspired you and really ignited your thoughts. But today, true or false, it's about impact, not just is it about is it about impact or is it about intention? I want you to explain that to me. Is that the true or false that you were bringing to the light? About, is it more about impact or is it about intention? And I want you to kind of clarify that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, true or false? It's about the impact, not the intention.
Not the intention.
True or false? It's about the impact, not the intention. So, in this space today, we're going to think about which weighs heavier, the impact or the intention. Y'all, I have been in different situations and circumstances, and I've been hearing certain things. And I remember hearing this therapist say, it's about the impact, not the intention. On the mental
Okay.
health therapist. So, yeah, right, right. And, you know, it was in a way that felt like it was weaponizing the situation when I heard it, right?
Yeah.
So it caused me pause. I said, let's take a pause to understand what this means. It's about the impact, not the intention. When I sat back to look at that thing, I said, let's weigh the pros and cons. Which one is heavier? The intention, meaning, the intention, the desire, the reason behind I do whatever it is I do in life. My truth, remembering truth is what makes sense and what feels right. My intention for doing something versus the impact, how the others receive it. Impact is more of the external experience, right? And, are you ready for my synopsis? I can have a synopsis, but I kind of want to hear kind of your thoughts first, just to start off with.
Man, that's an interesting thing. The impact versus the intention. I think it's as much as one can listen to it and it can sound like there's either way that it can waver. I do think there's some nuance and it has to be context, and sometimes it can be based probably case by case, because there are situations where you can have pure intentions all day and night, but if your impact leads to this and your intentions weren't they weren't translated in a way that still that kind of doesn't help the impact, then it's about, for that person, it's about the impact, right? So I don't, it's a very interesting. I'm interested to hear where you go with and where you take this, because I think it can go on several different planes. If we're talking about, look, I want to have good intentions to do this live, right? But my intentions is to make sure that we're up and running. But then if my impact is a lackluster energy, what are we talking about?
Mm, yes, because what is what affects you. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. So you being impacted, so the result of your impact would be a lackluster experience based on that example.
Yeah, you may mean well, but did you do well?
You may mean well, but did you do well?
Is it enough to say my heart was in the right place? Or
Mm,
do we need to take ownership of how our actions really land?
mean well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is it enough to say my heart was in the right place?
Did you do well? I love that. Did you do? And this is the thing, because even with that understanding too, um, it's about also the delivery.
Yeah,
Because you may have meant well, but did you do well?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like the delivery of it. I think about a lot of parents, or some parents, that may want to share information with their offspring, and the delivery is off,
yeah.
saying that someone looks like trash and they should put a shirt on, wear the rest of your clothes, as opposed to like, do you want to like step out and look more presentable? Is an example. The intention,
It sounds personal.
I can only speak from lived experience. Okay. And so the thing with it is the intention is, hey, like, I want you to care about your presentation, like care
Right,
about your presentation. I care about how you carry yourself in the world,
right,
right?
right.
Versus what the person can receive as, why are you talking down upon me? Why are you doing this? So
Yeah,
the delivery, first nuance in this space, the delivery means something. Delivery means something because delivery can impact things. And
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm listening to you. Delivery matters so much. I'm uh you know giving let's stick right there. Giving honest feedback that ends up being hurtful.
That ends up being hurtful, but
Giving y giving honest feedback that ends up being hurtful. How
right.
do we navigate those waters? And in when you're in your sessions, right?
Mhm.
And I bet so many different, if any therapists are listening out there to this, I bet they can resonate to where you're about to take this, right?
Mhm.
How often do you hear people, or if you're in your sessions when you do hear people saying, they said this to me, then they said this to me, and you actually listen to them, and you're like, well, I don't disagree. So what are we hurting about? Or like in your example right here, hey, you might want to put a shirt, you might want to change what you're wearing because you're looking like whatever you may be looking like. Do
Wear
we
your
we
clothes.
always we shoot the messenger so much.
There's so many things that go with that,
Yeah.
right? Because we are all reflections of each other in different
Yeah.
ways. So let's just put a pause there.
Okay.
If I have the foundational understanding that everything works for me and nothing works against me,
Hmm.
foundationally, I'm here. I have arrived. Now, the thing with it is, have I always been here? Have I always felt like everything works for me?
Right, right, right.
No, no. But when you use, that's why the importance of mantra and intention and affirmation, because you create the reality that you desire to have. But really, foundationally, everything does work for you. Nothing works against you. It's all about what
Right.
you want to put into this system. Systems aren't inherently bad. It's what gets put
Hmm.
into the system,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So let's take a pause and step back at this. So if I'm being told, wear your clothes out, put some more clothes on, you look like this,
Yeah.
right? I'm
Yeah.
if I'm being told that, I have one of two options to feed the system myself, my thinking, how I'm going to take this experience.
Yeah.
Now, my impact, right? Intentions are very neutral.
Hmm.
Impact is subjective. That is what can be controlled.
Hmm.
Intentions, neutral. Impact, control. The control for me, what am I going to feed? How am I going to allow this impact to occur? Am
Yeah.
I going to allow it to be like, okay, you're speaking down upon me. I'm speaking now. My insecurity is touched because I was already looking at how I was presenting it to go out anyway, right? One choice, one option would be to feed the to feed whatever I feel. If I
Right. Right.
feel
Right.
insecure, I can feed that. Or other side, if I don't have that insecurity, I could potentially hear something a little differently.
Yeah.
So even when we first feel impact, it's a sign. We're
Yeah.
systems. So we can either feed that feeling that we have inside. We can question the feeling we have inside. But understanding between intention and impact, intention is always going to be the neutral element,
Mm.
meaning that it's either going to be good or bad. Good or bad. Good, we are well intentioned.
Mm.
Well intentioned. And it's up to you as to how you protect yourself, because it's about the self preservation in this space. If I'm hearing someone say that about my outfit and how I'm presenting, and I know this is a trusted person that wants the best for me, and
Yeah.
I feel the impact, okay, I have the opportunity to discern, to use my faculty of discernment to understand what is the best way for me to take this experience.
Yeah.
One of the ways, hey, like I see what you're saying. Like, okay, so tell me more. Tell me, what do you mean? Where my clothes at? You see I have clothes on. Like, we could
Yeah.
have that form of understanding, and we could also ignore and then question the feeling, because if the feeling is there, that is also what is important to understand. It's really, y'all, it's important to monitor ourselves. In Sanskrit, the official language for yoga is called svadhyaya, self-study, self-observation, self-study. And I'll give you one more Sanskrit word, aparigraha. That means non-attachment. Non-attachment. One of the ways that we can protect ourselves is to not be emotionally attached and have an expectation as to how people are going to talk to us, treat us, right? Because we have the authority to teach people how to treat us.
So let
Yeah.
me pause you right there then. In
Yes.
that sense, in that what you're going with right there,
Mm-hmm.
true or false, it's about intention, not just impact.
True or false? It's about the impact, not the intention. That was a statement. That's what you're referring to, right?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay, so let's go with the statement. True or false? It's about the impact, not the intention. False. It's not about the impact. Always. There's no indefinite, right? We want to be well intentioned naturally. And we want to be able, we control our impact. From in my understanding, in my experiences, now both of them, I will say, depending on the situation, especially depending on if things are malintentioned or poorly intentioned, right? Because that's what starts things off, right? Because there's no impact without the intention. So intention is always going to be first,
Mhm.
right? So we shape either if it's well intentioned or if it's poorly intentioned to start off with. If it's well intentioned, then the impact does not weigh heavier than the intention in that space, based on, because I heard what you said before, everything's case by case situational. Thank you, therapist, because you were doing what I was doing before, trying to accept all the answers.
No, but I mean, no, it's not all accept the answers, but there has to be some case where you have to look at life and say, if we're always focusing on being good people, how do we give ourselves a chance to be more aware people? So I
Mm,
mean, you
well,
can
that's the part. Go ahead.
okay. No, I'm just saying, so to what you were just saying, I mean, intentions to me don't really, I mean, intention is good to be very intentional in life, though, I mean, you can have the most pure intentions. I think it's being aware.
Yes. So now you've delineated it. You're talking about, because when we think about intention and impact, they're two separate parties, right? Intention, impact. They can
They're
be, at least,
they seem like very both black and white situations.
right. And there's always nuance, there's always gray,
Yeah,
right? So, but what I'm hearing you say is like, how can we be more aware about our intention to positively affect our impact? Well, it all comes back down to us individually. Okay, I'll keep going with that. It comes down to us individually. Okay.
okay.
So, yes, to self awareness. Yes, to self study, svadhyaya. Yes, to seeing how things can be palatable in this space when we are dealing interaction, we're interconnected with other people. Yes, to all of that. And the impact is going to inform what one's intention is next time. That's the constant cycle that we experience. But I can't get mad at somebody if I haven't shared with them, if especially a close loved one that I have communication with and contact with, and where we have some type of healthy relationship, right? I can't get mad at other people for for thinking that they can share in a certain way, and I haven't, like, there's no precedence for it, right? I have to be the one to be like, hey, like, no, that wasn't okay. These are two
Mm,
separate parties. That's why it's kind of like when you were saying, like, you want people to be more self-aware about the intention. Well, intention versus impact, I'm thinking about it from a perspective of someone's intention impacts, or someone's intention creates someone else's impact,
okay.
right? So when we are constantly in this cycle, we talk about systems. If the person who was impacted does not say anything and allows the impact to continue happening to them, knowing that it's about them, right? It's about how you address and hold your authority in this space.
Hmm.
So, how you address, how you hold your authority. If the person doesn't say anything, then yeah, the other person with the well intention, that's what we're assuming, with the well intention can continue going with it,
I
right?
think, yeah, I think at the end of the day, all of it's null and void. All of it's null and void because good people can still have misguided or misrepresented intentions, right? If we're taking it with this sense, right? You can still have, I can still have the intentions of wanting to have a healthy body, right? But if the impact now results in, you know, me having to not have much free time with people, well, they don't give a damn about my intentions of what I have for myself. It's they're seeing what the impact leads out into this world, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's just about one thing that I'm just hearing missing from this conversation is just the accountability, right? The accountability, because I think, I don't know if you said, I'm trying to go back and remember if you were saying false about were you saying false about
Saying it's not all about the impact.
it's not all about yeah, it's not all about the impact. But and we live in a world where it is about the impact. It is about the impact.
Because people don't govern themselves. People don't govern themselves. There's
But
no
it's not about
accountability.
government. It's not. It can't be about government because but you can't govern accountability.
Talk is okay. Tell me about that. You can't
Yeah,
govern
I don't.
accountability.
Yeah, that's why I'm just hearing that. I think that's the main meat of this conversation is that at the end of the day, that's the part about communication because you can whatever your intention is, you can't expect whatever impact it has. The impact is based on the how something is received, whether it's on a positive light, negative light, whatever that is.
Right.
Then it's about being able both parties have to be accountable. One party has to be accountable on how they receive something and be able to say, hey, I received it this way. Then the other party has to be accountable in saying how well this is what and being able to bring clarity if it was misunderstood. And then that's how you allow the intentions to meet the impact so that they both are actually true together.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. What I heard you say is that everybody has to be held accountable. Everybody has to walk in their authority and their truth, and there has to be this melding of understanding for us to be able to even have intention meet the reality of the
Yeah.
impact. Yes, I understand that. I feel that going back to you can't govern accountability, I feel like that's known. I think that's false. And false from the perspective um, of course, everybody has blind spots. People have blind spots, right? But when you're presented with something, you have the opportunity to say what you know to be true or not.
Mm.
And so I have the opportunity to govern my accountability. Even there had been a situation when it comes to like venue spaces and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
As a program director and as a facilitator,
Mm-hmm.
I could have stayed in that energy of, hey, like I know that this venue space, the person that has this venue space is in a weird space because he or she doesn't feel right about what has happened, right? I could have been there and I could have done that. I could have just done my thing, did what I have to do with my programming, kept it moving. But no, I felt that there was an impact that happened.
Mm.
So I took accountability in my space. I governed myself. I governed the accountability to
Mm.
at least pull to the side and help understand. All
Yeah.
of it's about understanding. I'm not going to know how someone's going to take something until I know how someone's going to take something, right?
Mm.
And I'm not going to be able to know until I know. So really, the foundational portion of this segment, true or false, is it more about impact and not about intention? The foundational element is it's about understanding.
Mm-hmm.
It's about conversation. It's about connection. Even if you're talking about self, and it's not one party versus another party. Even it's about self. It's about the accountability and the conversation with self to understand. The impact. I feel this way. Like you were mentioning. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me think about effect, right? You taking time to self, and the effect is that you can't spend time with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I kind of separate that a little bit from impact, but it is a result. It is a result. So think about with self. With self, it's not just about one party versus another party. It's about how we are, what intentions are we setting for ourselves, and what impact are we receiving? If my intention is, hey, like I am sharing the best possible price I can with a community member to provide community offerings, and my heart is like, I really want to be
Mm-hmm.
able to do these certain things. And then, the impact of my decision to set a certain price, the impact of it, I start feeling like, oh, did I set it high enough? Am I worthy enough? This is the impact, the result, the
Mm-hmm.
effect. That is to be examined. That is to be understood. Why am I wavering with this? Why is my intention that feels very light and neutral
Mm-hmm.
and positive, well-intentioned, not matching the impact, what I'm feeling, what I'm receiving, how am I experiencing this? When they are confounded, that's when we have to have some understanding. Now, when they on the same page and shoot, I'm gonna step on this person's toe, my intention is to hurt you, and the outcome and the impact is that the person gets hurt, that's also in alignment. There's no misunderstanding here. I
Mm-hmm.
think the understanding really is important when there is misalignment of both of those terms, the impact and the intention. Yeah.
Hmm. Moral of the story, people, when let's not just mean well, let's do well. Let's move well. Let's see well. Let's be well.
We got
Boy, a Wellness Wednesday word right there. A Wellness Wednesday word from Miss Cole Flo. There's so many different angles of this topic, so thank you for bringing to the forefront. So many different angles. Trust me, this had to be part one of many parts because um yeah, there's just so many different angles that to touch on this. Before we close out and round out of great discussion, great points that you presented again, as far as when it comes to impact and intentions and how we're leading with our intentions and then being mindful of our impact as well, so that we can have an easeful life, we can have an easeful time with ourselves. We're gonna definitely get continue this conversation. I don't know if it's gonna be next week. We'll see what we have on the docket for next week, but it'll be down the line as well. Anything that you have coming up that you want to let the people know about, and just anything they need to join in on you?
Absolutely. You can always go to honoryourpresence.com and sign into the weekly newsletter. Sometimes I send out some extra sauce, 2 newsletters per week, but it just provides insight about events that are coming up, the products I have, like the Honor Your Presence natural deodorant. That's one of my biggest, most popular products that's selling in that space. I also this weekend I put out a call. I was like, everybody, if you have a free or donation based event, let me know. Like that's the element that I want, that is important for us to cultivate. If we're talking about understanding and connection and community, let's share. Let's share. So if you do have anything that's free or donation based for the community, in person or virtual, that's in North Carolina or outside of North Carolina, let me know. Honor Your Presence. My email is Andrea at honoryourpresence.com. Instagram and Facebook would be Honor Your Presence, and YouTube is Honor Your Presence PLLC. So I'm so excited. We have a numerology course that's coming up, the third part that's coming up in May 18th, that Sunday, to be specific. So tap in. You'll get that information specifically when you register for the newsletter on honoryourpresence.com. So can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Y'all need to get it. Y'all need to get in with the know. It's a lot of information coming out, and I'm looking for that numerology workshop that you have coming up soon.
You know what? I was just thinking, real quick. I was just thinking too. Comedic Reiki certifications in Raleigh
Okay.
area. That's happening at the end of May. So
Oh,
if
we
you're
got time to tell them about. We got time to tell them about that. We got time to tell them about that. We got
always.
time.
But that's also found in the newsletter and on onyourpresence.com.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll definitely let them know. Once again, Riz Talk in the Morning with yours truly, Poetically, and as we do this on Wednesdays, our Wellness Wednesdays with Miss Andrea Cole of Honor Your Presence PLLC. Make sure you follow her on all platforms like she told you to do, and also make sure you go ahead and like and follow the Facebook page so you can see what's going on there, and subscribe to her YouTube page because she's popping on there now, and when she has these Wellness Wednesdays, on there so you can rewatch them. And write your notes down. I see her; she writes her notes down. So, write your notes down from these shows, and and then reach out to her. Maybe she'll respond back. Who knows?
Maybe,
So,
yeah. I'll respond, y'all.
all right. So next time, we love y'all, and we will see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.